The great halls of Nexus Prime had never been silent in 3,000 years. Today they were quiet as death. Emperor Vexithalan sat on his crystal throne, his 4 eyes focused on the screen before him. Around him, the High Council of the Galactic Empire waited. They had ruled over 1,000,000 worlds, for longer than most species had existed. They had crushed rebellions, absorbed entire civilizations, and made the galaxy bow to their will. But today, something was different. The message had come from the Outer Rim, from a small yellow star in what the Empire called Sector 7 Delta, a backwater system that barely showed up on their maps. The species there called themselves humans. The Empire had noted them in their files as pre-spaceflight primitives, just 50 years ago. Now somehow, they were broadcasting across half the galaxy. "Play it again," Emperor Vexithalan commanded. The hologram flickered to life. A human male stood in what looked like a military uniform. He was tall for his species, with dark hair and calm eyes. The uniform was simple but clean. Behind him, other humans worked at strange machines that pulsed with soft light. "I am Captain Woojin Park of the Earth Defense Force," the human said. His voice was steady, without fear or anger. "This message is for the Galactic Empire of Valthara. You have sent ships into human space. You have demanded tribute from human worlds. You have threatened human lives." The Emperor's advisor, General Thekmar, laughed. His voice echoed through the hall. "Look at him. So serious for such a small creature. Does he think we fear his little world?" But Captain Woojin Park continued speaking as if he could hear the laughter. "We are giving you this warning once. Only once. Remove all Imperial forces from human space within 72 standard hours. Cease all claims on human worlds. Leave us alone." "And if we refuse?" General Thekmar called out to the recording, knowing the human could not hear him. The human's expression did not change. "If you do not comply, we will remove you ourselves. We will take your ships. We will take your worlds. We will take everything you have built in 3,000 years. This is not a threat. This is a promise." The recording ended. The hall fell silent again. Emperor Vexithalan looked at his council. These were beings from dozens of species, all brought under imperial rule. They had wisdom from across the galaxy. They had technology beyond imagination. They commanded fleets that could burn solar systems. "What do you think?" the Emperor asked. General Thekmar stood up, his 6 arms spread wide in amusement. "My lord, they have perhaps 100 ships, crude things, barely able to travel between stars. We have 10,000 vessels in the nearest battle fleet alone. This is not war. This is pest control." Admiral Zethkol nodded her great head. Her species had ruled space when humans were still living in caves. "The biological reports show they are physically weak, short lifespans, no natural weapons, no psychic abilities. They have only been in space for a few decades." "Then why?" asked Councillor Virthak. "Do they sound so confident?" General Thekmar waved a dismissive hand. "Ignorance, my lord. They do not understand what they face. When our fleets arrive at their little system, they will see the truth. Then they will beg for mercy." But Emperor Vexthalan was thinking, in 3,000 years, no species had ever spoken to the Empire like this. Even the great warrior races had shown some fear, some respect for imperial power. These humans showed nothing but cold certainty. "What do we know about their homeworld?" he asked. Councillor Virthak checked his datapad. "Third planet from their star, mostly water, billions of inhabitants. They call it Earth. Our scouts report it has strong defenses for a primitive world, but nothing that could stop an Imperial fleet. And their colonies? 7 worlds, all heavily defended. They seem to expect attack." Emperor Vexthalan stood up. His massive form cast shadows across the hall. "They expect attack, but they still sent us this message. Either they are fools, or they know something we do not." General Thekmar's laughter boomed again. "My lord, with respect, what could they possibly know? We have conquered species far older and more advanced. We have technology they cannot imagine. We have resources from 1,000,000 worlds." The Emperor nodded slowly. "Yes, we do. And yet," he thought about the human's eyes, There had been no fear there, no doubt, only the calm certainty of someone who knew exactly what was going to happen next. "My lord," Admiral Zethkol said carefully, "surely you do not suggest we should actually consider their demand?" "Of course not." Emperor Vexathalan's voice was firm. "The Empire does not negotiate with primitives, but I want to know more about these humans before we crush them." He turned to his intelligence chief. "Spy Master Kelthon, send our best scouts to human space. I want to know everything. Their technology, their tactics, their weaknesses. I want to know what makes them think they can threaten us." Spy Master Kelthon bowed low. His species had served the Empire for 2,000 years as information gatherers. "It will be done, my lord. But may I suggest we also begin mobilizing the Third Fleet? If we are to make an example of these humans, we should do it properly." Agreed. The Emperor sat back down. "General Thekmar, prepare the Third Fleet for deployment to Sector 7 Delta. 10,000 ships should be more than enough to deal with whatever these humans have prepared." General Thekmar grinned, showing rows of sharp teeth. "My lord, 10,000 ships could conquer their entire region of space. Perhaps we should use fewer to make it more sporting?" "No." The Emperor's voice was cold. "They want to threaten the Empire. We will show them what that means. Complete overwhelming force. No survivors. Their worlds will burn as a lesson to anyone else who thinks they can challenge us." But even as he gave the orders, Emperor Vexthalan could not forget the human captain's eyes. Calm, certain, as if he already knew how this would end. Meanwhile, in the Sol system, Captain Woojin Park stood on the bridge of his ship. Around him, human officers worked quietly at their stations. The ship was sleek and dark, built for speed and stealth rather than show. "Captain," his communications officer called out, "long-range sensors are picking up movement in Imperial space, large fleet formations heading our way." "How many ships?" Woojin asked. "Initial estimate is 10,000 vessels, sir." Another officer looked up from his station. "Should we alert Earth Defense Command?" Woojin smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. "No need, Lieutenant. They're responding exactly as we expected they would." He touched a control on his chair. "Dr. Minji Park to the bridge." A few minutes later, a woman entered the bridge. She was younger than the captain, with the same dark hair and calm eyes. She wore a scientist's coat instead of a military uniform, but she moved with the same quiet confidence. "The Imperial fleet is moving, sister," Woojin said. Dr. Minji Park nodded. "Good. Admiral Kyung-ho Bay's psychological profile was correct. They're bringing everything they have." "And our preparations?" "Complete. The moment they enter the system, we begin." Woojin looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 10,000 alien ships were coming to destroy his species. The Empire thought they were bringing overwhelming force against helpless primitives. They were about to learn what humans meant when they said, "We conquer, we devour." 72 hours, Woojin said quietly. "Just like we promised them." Dr. Minji Park smiled. The Admiral Daehyun Choi had commanded Imperial fleets for over 400 years. He had burned rebel worlds and crushed uprisings across the galaxy. When the Empire needed an example made, they sent Admiral Choi. His Third Fleet was the hammer of Imperial justice, 10,000 ships strong and equipped with weapons that could crack planets. Now he sat in his flagship, watching the human star system grow larger on his screens. The fleet had made good time from Nexus Prime. Soon these upstart humans would learn what happened when primitive species challenged the Empire. "Report," Admiral Choi commanded. His tactical officer, a six-armed Vrextal, checked his instruments. "We are entering the outer edge of human space, Admiral. The system they call Sol is directly ahead." "Any signs of their fleet?" "Negative, sir. Long-range sensors show nothing. The system appears empty." Admiral Choi frowned. "Empty? What about their homeworld?" "Still there, Admiral. Third planet from the star. But we are detecting no orbital defenses, no patrol ships, no military formations. Even the civilian traffic has stopped." This was wrong. Every intelligence report had said the humans were heavily militarized. Their colonies were supposed to be fortress worlds. Where were their defenses? "Perhaps they have fled," suggested Commander Yith Cole from the communications station. When they saw our fleet approaching, they may have decided to run rather than fight. Admiral Choi considered this. It was possible. Many species had fled when faced with Imperial might. But something felt wrong. The human message had been too confident, too certain. These did not seem like people who would run. "Take us into the system," he ordered. "Full battle formation. I want every sensor active. If they are hiding somewhere, we will find them." The massive Imperial fleet moved forward. 10,000 ships, in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with Imperial symbols. At the center, Admiral Choi's flagship led the way, its weapons charged and ready. They passed the outer planets without incident. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, all empty of human presence. No mining stations, no defensive platforms, nothing. It was as if the humans had simply vanished. "Admiral," the tactical officer called out, "we are approaching the asteroid belt. Still no contact with enemy forces." "What about Earth itself?" "Sensors show the planet is still inhabited, but all communications have ceased. No response to our hails. It is like they are waiting." Admiral Choi did not like this. In 400 years of warfare, he had learned to trust his instincts. Something was very wrong here. "Sir," another officer reported, "we are detecting some unusual readings from the asteroid field." "What kind of readings?" "Metallic signatures. Large ones, but they do not match any known ship designs." Admiral Choi stood up from his command chair. On screen, the main display showed the asteroid belt ahead of them. Thousands of rocks drifting in space, just as expected. But as he watched, some of those rocks began to move. "Sir, those are not asteroids." The rocks were shifting, turning, revealing themselves to be something else entirely. Ships, human ships. But unlike anything in the Imperial database, they were sleek and dark, built for speed rather than intimidation. And there were hundreds of them, hidden throughout the asteroid field. "Battle stations!" Admiral Choi shouted. "All ships, prepare for—" The human ships struck without warning. They moved like living things, flowing between the Imperial vessels with impossible grace. Their weapons were different too. Not the massive energy cannons of Imperial design, but precise beams that found weak points in armor and shields. Commander Ji-hoon Lee led the first attack wave. His squadron of 12 ships moved in perfect coordination, targeting the engines and weapon systems of Imperial cruisers. They did not try to destroy the enemy ships completely. Instead, they crippled them, leaving them helpless but intact. "What are they doing?" Admiral Choi demanded. "Why? Are they not finishing their kills?" His tactical officer was frantically trying to coordinate the fleet's response. "Sir, they are not following standard combat patterns. They strike and withdraw, then disappear back into the asteroids. Our heavy weapons cannot lock onto them." Another wave of human ships emerged from different hiding spots. This group was led by Captain So-young Kim, who had spent weeks studying Imperial ship designs. Her ships moved like hunters, stalking damaged Imperial vessels and picking them off one by one. The Empire had expected a straight fight, ship against ship, overwhelming numbers against primitive technology. Instead, they were being hunted. The humans moved like predators, using the asteroid field as cover, striking from unexpected angles. "Sir, we have lost contact with Battle Group 7, reported the communications officer. "Lost contact? How many ships?" 200 vessels, Admiral. They were investigating an energy signature in Sector 4 when they just stopped responding. Admiral Choi felt cold fear creeping up his spine. 200 ships did not just disappear. "Send a scout group to investigate." "Already done, sir." The scout group has also gone silent. This was impossible. The Empire had faced rebels before, but nothing like this. Their enemies had always fought directly, using massive fleets and powerful weapons. These humans fought like ghosts, appearing from nowhere and vanishing just as quickly. "Admiral," the tactical officer called out urgently, "we are receiving a transmission." "From where?" "Unknown source, sir. It is broadcasting on all frequencies." The main screen flickered, showing a human woman in a white coat. She stood in what looked like a laboratory, surrounded by strange equipment. Her expression was calm, almost friendly. "I am Dr. Haejin Choi," she said. I want to share some information with you. Admiral Choi stared at the screen. This human shared his name, though pronounced differently. Was this some kind of insult? Dr. Heijin Choi continued speaking. We have been studying your species for quite some time. We know about your four-chambered hearts. We know that your primary nervous system runs along your spine, unprotected by bone. We know that your ships use Thylex crystals for power, which explode if exposed to certain frequencies. The transmission showed detailed diagrams of Vrextal anatomy, highlighting weak points and vital organs. Then it showed Imperial ship designs with critical systems marked in red. We know where you are vulnerable, Dr. Heijin Choi said. We know how to hurt you. We know how to kill you efficiently. The transmission ended, leaving the Imperial bridge in shocked silence. How? Admiral Choi whispered. How do they know these things? His answer came in the form of another human attack. This time, the ships targeted the exact weak points Dr. Heijin Choi had mentioned. Imperial vessels that had seemed undamaged suddenly erupted in secondary explosions as their power. Crystals overloaded. Commander Yithkol turned to Admiral Choi with terror in his eyes. Sir, they are not trying to defeat us. They are studying us. Every attack teaches them more about our weaknesses. Another group of human ships appeared, led by Commander Jiyan Song. But these ships looked different. They had been modified with pieces of Imperial technology, armor plating, shield generators, weapon systems, all taken from the ships they had destroyed. Sir, the tactical officer reported with growing panic, those ships are using our own technology against us, but it has been improved somehow. Admiral Choi watched in horror as human ships equipped with modified Imperial weapons tore through his fleet's defenses. The humans had not just stolen Imperial technology, they had made it better. How long since we entered this system? He asked. 4 hours, Admiral. 4 hours. In 4 hours, these humans had studied Imperial forces, identified their weaknesses, and begun adapting captured technology. No species in the galaxy worked that fast. Sir, incoming transmission from the human homeworld. The screen showed another human, this one in military uniform. He was young-looking, with the same calm confidence they had all seen before. I am Admiral Kyung-ho Bae of Earth Defense Command, the human said. Admiral Choi, you brought 10,000 ships to our system. That was a mistake. Admiral Choi found his voice. Human, you cannot defeat the Imperial Navy. We have resources you cannot imagine. Admiral Kyung-ho Bae smiled. Admiral, we do not want to defeat you. We want to understand you. Every ship you lose teaches us something new. Every tactic you try shows us how you think. You are not our enemy. You are our teachers. The transmission showed images of human research facilities. Imperial prisoners were being held in comfortable conditions while human scientists studied them. Captured Imperial ships were being taken apart and rebuilt in human shipyards. Thank you for the lesson, Admiral, Kyung-ho Bae said. We are learning so much. Admiral Choi looked around his bridge. Half his fleet was gone, destroyed, or captured. The other half was trapped in the asteroid field, being hunted by ships that seemed to know exactly how to hurt them. For the first time in 400 years, Admiral Dae-hyun Choi considered the possibility that he might lose a battle. And in the depths of space, hidden human ships continued their patient hunt, learning with every strike how to kill more efficiently. General Tae-hyun Nam stood in the center of the most secret facility in human space. The assimilation complex was hidden deep inside an asteroid, far from Earth and its colonies. Here, humanity practiced its most disturbing talent, the ability to take everything their enemies had and make it better. Report, General Nam commanded. Dr. Sunho Park looked up from his workstation. Around him, teams of human engineers worked on pieces of Imperial technology. The facility buzzed with activity as humans took apart, studied, and rebuilt everything they had captured from Admiral Choi's fleet. We have made excellent progress, General, Dr. Sunho Park said. The Imperial power systems are actually quite efficient, primitive but efficient. We have improved them by 30%. And their weapons? Even better news. Their energy cannons are powerful but wasteful. We have redesigned them to use 40% less power while delivering 60% more damage. General Nam nodded. This was what made humans dangerous. Other species fought wars to win territory or resources. Humans fought wars to learn and grow. Every battle made them stronger. What about the prisoners? Dr. Sunho Park led him to another section of the facility. Here, captured Imperial soldiers were housed in comfortable cells. They were not tortured or mistreated. Instead, they were studied. The Vrextal have interesting advantages, Dr. Sunho Park explained. Their 6 arms allow for much better multitasking. Their enhanced reflexes are impressive. We are working on incorporating these traits into our enhancement programs. And the Thylexcol? Their natural armor is fascinating. We believe we can create similar protection for human soldiers using their genetic patterns as a template. General Nam watched as human scientists worked with samples of alien tissue and blood. It was not cruel. The aliens had volunteered these samples in exchange for better living conditions. But it was effective. Within weeks, human soldiers would have the advantages of multiple alien species. Sir, another scientist called out, we have finished analyzing the Imperial ship designs. Show me. The holographic display showed the complete technical specifications of every Imperial ship class. Not just the external design, but internal systems, power distribution, structural weak points, everything. How did we get this level of detail? General Nam asked. The prisoners were very helpful, Dr. Sunho Park said. Once we explained that cooperation would lead to better treatment, they shared their technical knowledge freely. Also, every ship we captured came with complete computer cores. General Nam smiled. This was another human advantage. They did not see enemies as things to be destroyed, but as resources to be used. Imperial prisoners were not tortured for information. They were given reasons to cooperate willingly. Sir, a new voice called out, Commander Jian Song is requesting permission to deploy the new hybrid ships. General Nam turned to see Commander Jian Song herself walking toward him. She wore a new type of armor that seemed to shift and flow like living metal. Her eyes glowed with a faint blue light. Commander Song, he said, I see you have been testing our new enhancements. Yes, sir. The Thylexcol armor adaptation is remarkable. It responds to my thoughts and can adjust its density based on the type of threat. The Vrextal reflexes enhancement allows me to process multiple tactical situations simultaneously. And you feel no side effects? Commander Song smiled. Only that I am more than I was before, sir. We all are. General Nam looked around the facility. Human soldiers and scientists worked alongside the technology and knowledge of a dozen alien species. But they were still recognizably human. The enhancements did not change who they were. They made them better at being human. Permission granted. Commander, take your squadron and show Admiral Choi what we have learned. Commander Song nodded and walked away. Her movements were fluid and precise, enhanced by alien genetics but guided by human intelligence and purpose. General, Dr. Sunho Park said quietly, there is something else you should see. He led General Nam to a sealed chamber deep in the facility. Inside, behind thick transparent walls, was something that had once been an Imperial battleship. Now, it was something else entirely. The ship's hull was smooth and dark, like human designs, but it pulsed with alien energy patterns. Weapons that combined human precision with Imperial power jutted from its surface. The bridge visible through the transparent armor showed a mix of human and alien technology working in perfect harmony. We took a damaged Imperial cruiser and rebuilt it completely, Dr. Sunho Park explained. The result is a ship that is faster than Imperial designs, more heavily armed than human ships, and more intelligent than either. Intelligent? The ship's computer system uses adaptive algorithms based on human neural patterns. It learns from every engagement and shares that knowledge with other ships in the fleet. Every battle makes our entire navy smarter. General Nam stared at the hybrid vessel. This was what the Empire did not understand. Humans did not just fight their enemies, they consumed them. Every Imperial ship destroyed became raw material for human industry. Every alien captured became a source of new knowledge and capabilities. How many of these hybrid ships do we have? 50 so far, with more being completed every day. Commander Song's squadron consists entirely of these new vessels. And the pilots? All volunteers for the enhancement program. They have been modified with the best traits from multiple alien species, but they remain human at their core. They think like humans, fight like humans, but with capabilities no pure human has ever possessed. An alarm chimed softly. General Nam, incoming message from the Sol system. Admiral Choi is attempting to negotiate. General Nam and Dr. Sunho Park returned to the command center. On the main screen, Admiral Choi looked exhausted and afraid. His uniform was torn, and his ship's bridge showed signs of damage. "This is Admiral Daehyun Choi of the Imperial Third Fleet," the alien commander said. "I wish to speak with human leadership about terms of withdrawal." General Nam gestured for the communications officer to open a channel. "Admiral Choi, this is General Taehyun Nam. I understand you wish to leave our system." "Yes," Admiral Choi said quickly. "We have reconsidered our position. The Empire is willing to recognize human sovereignty in this region of space." "That is kind of you, Admiral, but we are no longer interested in your recognition." Admiral Choi's expression showed confusion. "What do you mean?" "Admiral, when you brought 10,000 ships to our system, you taught us something valuable. You showed us Imperial technology, tactics, and capabilities. For that education, we are grateful." "Then, you will allow us to leave?" General Nam smiled. "Admiral, you misunderstand our gratitude. We are grateful for the lesson, but we are not finished learning." On cue, Commander Song's squadron emerged from the asteroid field. The hybrid ships moved with inhuman grace, their hulls reflecting no light. They surrounded the remaining Imperial vessels like predators circling wounded prey. "What are those ships?" Admiral Choi whispered. "Those are what your ships become when we improve them," General Nam explained. "Faster, stronger, smarter. We have taken everything you brought us and made it better." Dr. Sunho Park stepped into view of the camera. "Admiral, we have learned so much from your people. Imperial biology, technology, tactics, all fascinating, but we need more data." "More data? Every ship you lose teaches us something new. Every tactic you try shows us how to counter Imperial strategies. We cannot let you leave until we have learned everything you have to teach us." Admiral Choi's face went pale. "You mean to destroy us all?" "Not destroy," General Nam corrected. "Absorb. Your ships will become our ships. Your technology will become our technology. Your knowledge will become our knowledge. Nothing will be wasted." "And the crews? Those who cooperate will be treated well. They will help us understand Imperial civilization from the inside. Those who resist?" General Nam shrugged. "They will still teach us, just in different ways." Commander Song's voice came over the communication channel. "General, we are in position, awaiting orders." "Begin the harvest, Commander." The hybrid ships moved in perfect coordination. They did not try to destroy the Imperial vessels quickly. Instead, they disabled them systematically, taking out weapons and engines while leaving life support intact. Each capture was precise and efficient. Admiral Choi watched helplessly as his remaining ships were taken one by one. "This is not war," he said. "This is something else." "Yes," General Nam agreed. "War is about defeating enemies. This is about becoming more than we were. Every species the Empire has conquered we will learn from. Every piece of technology in the galaxy will be ours to improve upon. The Empire will send more fleets. We hope so. Each fleet will teach us something new about Imperial capabilities. Eventually, we will know everything there is to know about the Empire. And then we will take it." Admiral Choi's ship shuddered as human boarding parties attached to its hull. Through the viewports, he could see figures in strange armor moving with inhuman speed and precision. "Admiral," Dr. Sunho Park said gently, "please instruct your crew not to resist. We do not wish to harm them unnecessarily. They are too valuable as sources of information." The last Imperial ship went dark as human forces took control of its systems. In less than a day, Admiral Choi's entire fleet had been captured or destroyed. 10,000 ships reduced to raw material foe. Emperor Vexathalan stood before the ancient vault beneath Nexus Prime. The loss of Admiral Choi's entire fleet had shaken the Empire to its core. For the first time in 3,000 years, an Imperial force had been completely destroyed by a primitive species. But the Emperor had one final card to play. The vault doors were 10 feet thick and made from materials older than the Empire itself. Inside lay weapons that had not been used since the Great Conquest, when the Empire had first claimed dominion over the galaxy. These were tools of absolute destruction, created by species so powerful that even their memory had been erased from history. "Are you certain about this, my lord?" General Thekmar asked. His usual confidence was gone, replaced by nervous fear. The reports from the Sol system had been clear. The humans were not just winning, they were learning, growing stronger with each victory. "The Worldbreaker weapons were sealed for good reason," Counselor Verthak added. "They do not simply destroy planets. They unravel the very fabric of space-time in entire star systems." Emperor Vexathalan placed his hand on the vault's scanner. Ancient machines hummed to life, reading his genetic signature. "These humans have proven they cannot be defeated by conventional means. They turn our own strength against us. They learn from our losses and become stronger. If we are to stop them, we must use weapons they cannot adapt to." The vault doors opened with a sound like thunder. Inside, floating in suspension fields, were devices that looked deceptively simple. Each Worldbreaker was no larger than a human fist, but contained enough power to collapse an entire solar system into nothing. "My lord," a new voice called from behind them, "we have received a transmission from human space." Emperor Vexthalan turned to see his communications officer, a young Thylexcol female named Nethara. She looked terrified. "What kind of transmission?" "It is addressed to you personally, my lord." The humans claim they wish to negotiate. The Emperor's 4 eyes narrowed. "Humans do not negotiate. They consume. Show me." They returned to the command center, where the main screen showed a human woman in diplomatic robes. She was older than the others they had seen, with silver hair and kind eyes. Behind her, other humans worked at stations that seemed to blend imperial and human technology. "I am Ambassador Suyong Lee of the Human Diplomatic Corps," the woman said. "Emperor Vexthalan, I bring greetings from Earth and an offer of peace." General Thekmar laughed bitterly. "Peace? After they destroyed our fleet?" Ambassador Lee continued as if she had heard him. "We understand that the loss of your third fleet has been disturbing to your empire. We wish to discuss terms that would prevent further conflict." "What terms?" Emperor Vexthalan demanded. "Simple ones. The empire will withdraw from all disputed territories. You will provide us with complete technical specifications for all imperial technology. You will also provide genetic samples from all species within the empire." The throne room fell silent. These were not peace terms. They were demands for total surrender. "And in return?" the Emperor asked. "In return, we will allow the empire to continue existing. You may keep your remaining territories and govern your people as you see fit. We have no interest in ruling over aliens who cannot contribute to human advancement." General Thekmar's 6 arms shook with rage. "My lord, this is an insult. They demand everything and offer nothing." But Ambassador Lee smiled gently. "General, you misunderstand. We are offering you something very valuable, your lives. Would you like to see what happens to those who refuse our generous terms?" The screen changed to show images from the Sol system. What had once been Admiral Choi's flagship was now something else entirely. The ship's hull was sleek and dark, like human designs, but it pulsed with alien energy. Weapons that combined human precision with imperial power covered its surface. "Admiral Choi has been very helpful," Ambassador Lee said. "He has shared much knowledge about imperial military doctrine. In return, we have given him command of one of our new hybrid vessels. He seems quite pleased with the arrangement." The image showed Admiral Choi himself, but he looked different. His movements were faster, more precise. His eyes glowed with a faint blue light. When he spoke, his voice was calm and confident in a way it had never been before. "Emperor," Admiral Choi said, "the humans have shown me what true efficiency looks like. My new ship is faster and more powerful than anything in the Imperial fleet. My enhanced body can process tactical information at speeds no natural mind could match. I am more than I was before." "You have been modified?" Emperor Vexthalan whispered. "Improved," Admiral Choi corrected. "The humans do not change what we are. They make us better at being what we are. I am still Vrextal, but I am now a Vrextal enhanced with the best traits of 6 different species. Ambassador Li reappeared on the screen. Emperor, we offer the same gift to all who join us willingly. Your species' natural strength, enhanced with human adaptability. Your intelligence, boosted with alien computing power. You would lose nothing of what makes you yourself, but gain capabilities beyond imagination. And if we refuse? The ambassador's expression did not change, but her words carried absolute certainty. Then you will still contribute to human advancement, just in different ways. Your technology will be analyzed and improved. Your biology will be studied and incorporated into our enhancement programs. Your worlds will become human colonies. The only difference is whether you participate willingly or not. Emperor Vex Thalan cut the transmission. The throne room was silent for long minutes. My lord, Councillor Virthak said carefully, perhaps we should consider— No. The Emperor's voice was final. The Empire does not surrender. Not to anyone. Not ever. He turned to his weapons master. Prepare the world breakers. If these humans want to consume the galaxy, they will do it as radiation and dust. My lord, General Thekmar said, the world breakers will destroy everything in the target system, not just the humans, but any of our own people who might be prisoners there. A necessary sacrifice. Better to lose a few thousand prisoners than to let these things spread across the galaxy. The weapons master bowed low. It will be done, my lord. How many world breakers should we deploy? All of them. I want that entire region of space erased from existence. But even as the Emperor gave his orders, he did not know that human scouts had been watching the Empire for weeks. Ships so small and stealthy that Imperial sensors could not detect them had been studying every Imperial facility, every secret base, every hidden weapon. On one of those scout ships, Commander Eunji Yoon watched the Worldbreaker preparations. Through advanced sensors that combined human ingenuity with stolen Imperial technology. Captain Woo Jin Park, this is Scout 7, she transmitted on a secure channel. The Empire is preparing to deploy their ultimate weapons. Recommendation is immediate capture mission. Back in the Sol system, Captain Woo Jin Park sat in his command, chair aboard the rebuilt Imperial flagship. Around him, human officers worked at stations that seamlessly blended human and alien technology. The ship itself was a testament to human adaptability, faster than any Imperial vessel, more heavily, armed than any human ship, and controlled by an artificial intelligence that learned and adapted with each engagement. Understood, Scout 7. Begin your approach. Dr. Minji Park's team has been studying the theoretical specifications of Worldbreaker weapons for weeks. We are ready to acquire samples for analysis. Dr. Minji Park looked up from her science station. Her appearance had changed since the war began, enhanced reflexes from Vrextal genetics, improved cognitive processing from Thylex-Col neural patterns, but still recognizably human at her core. Brother, if we can capture even one Worldbreaker intact, we can reverse engineer the technology within days. Imagine what we could build with that level of power at our disposal. Captain Woo Jin Park smiled. It was an expression that would have terrified any Imperial observer. Sister, I am imagining it, and I think the Emperor is about to give us the greatest gift in human history. Meanwhile, on Nexus Prime, Emperor Vexathalan prepared to commit the greatest act of destruction the galaxy had ever seen. He believed he was saving civilization from a species of unstoppable predators. He did not understand that he was about to feed them the ultimate weapon. In the depths of space, Commander Eunji Yoon's ship moved silently toward the Imperial capital. Her crew consisted of humans enhanced with the best traits of a dozen alien species, equipped with technology that blended the innovations of multiple civilizations, and guided by a tactical intelligence that had studied and absorbed the military doctrines of the greatest powers in the galaxy. The Empire was about to learn that there was something worse than being conquered by humanity, being studied by humanity while they conquered you. The attack on Nexus Prime began at exactly midnight, Imperial Standard Time. Commander Eunji Yoon's strike team moved through the ancient city like ghosts, their enhanced abilities allowing them to avoid every sensor, every guard, every automated defense. They were no longer purely human. Genetic modifications had given them the night vision of Thylex-Col hunters, the reflexes of Vrextal warriors, and the stealth capabilities of shadow walkers from the Outer Rim. but they still thought like humans. They still planned like humans, and that made them infinitely more dangerous than any natural predator. "Target acquired," Commander Yoon whispered into her communicator. Through her enhanced vision, she could see the massive vault beneath the Imperial Palace. Inside, floating in suspension fields, were the world-breaker weapons that Emperor Vexathalan planned to use against Earth. "Copy that, Strike Leader," came the reply from Captain Wu Jin Park, orbiting high above the planet in stealth mode. "Remember, we need at least one weapon intact for analysis. Dr. Minji Park's team is standing by." Commander Yoon smiled. Her team had spent weeks studying the vault's defenses, Imperial security systems that had protected the Empire's greatest secrets for thousands of years, systems that assumed any intruder would be fighting their way in with brute force. The Empire had never encountered thieves who learned and adapted faster than their security could respond. "Beginning infiltration," Commander Yoon reported. Her team moved with precision that no natural species could match. Locks that should have taken hours to crack were opened in minutes by fingers enhanced with alien dexterity. Guards who should have detected any intrusion fell unconscious before they knew they were under attack, neutralized by techniques that combined human cunning with alien biology. The vault door itself was more challenging. 10 feet of metal and energy barriers that could withstand planetary bombardment. But Commander Yoon's team had come prepared. They had studied similar Imperial defenses captured from Admiral Choi's fleet. They knew exactly where the weak points were. "Plasma cutter ready," reported Sergeant Minho Kang, his voice barely audible. The cutting tool he carried was a human innovation, Imperial plasma technology improved with salvaged alien components and guided by artificial intelligence that had analyzed thousands of Imperial designs. "Negative on the cutter," Commander Yoon said. "Use the neural interface." Sergeant Kang nodded and placed his hand on the vault's control panel. Cybernetic implants in his brain, technology that combined human ingenuity with Thylexcol biocomputing, interfaced directly with the vault's security system. To the Imperial computers, he appeared to be Emperor Vexathalan himself. The vault doors opened silently. Inside, the world-breaker weapons waited in their suspension fields. Each device was small enough to hold in one hand, but contained enough destructive power to unravel entire star systems. They were beautiful in their simplicity. Smooth, dark metal covered in patterns that seemed to shift and flow like living things. "Target acquired," Commander Yoon reported. "Beginning extraction." Her team moved quickly but carefully. The world breakers were surrounded by force fields and alarm systems that would trigger if disturbed incorrectly. But human scientists had been studying Imperial technology for months. They knew how these systems worked better than many Imperial engineers. "Got one," reported Corporal Jisoo Park as she carefully lifted a world breaker from its containment field. "Energy readings are incredible. This thing could crack a planet in half." "Package all of them," Commander Yoon ordered. "If the Empire wants to threaten Earth with ultimate weapons, we'll take their ultimate weapons away from them." As her team worked, Commander Yoon received an urgent transmission from orbit. "Strike Leader, this is Captain Park. Imperial forces have discovered our presence. Fleet elements are moving to intercept. You have perhaps 10 minutes before they lock down the entire planet." "Understood. We're almost finished here." But even as she spoke, alarms began blaring throughout the Imperial Palace. Emergency lights bathed the vault in red light as automated defenses came online throughout the city. "They know we're here," Sergeant Kang reported. "It doesn't matter," Commander Yoon replied calmly. "We have what we came for." Her team finished, loading the world breakers into specially designed containers that would mask their energy signatures. All 12 weapons, plus their control systems and technical documentation, were now in human hands. "Strike Leader," Captain Park's voice was urgent. "Imperial reinforcements are arriving faster than expected. You need to extract now." "On our way." Commander Yoon's team moved through the palace with the same ghostly efficiency they had used to enter. But now they were racing against time as Imperial forces swarmed through the building, searching for intruders they could not see or track. They reached the extraction point just as Imperial guards finally detected their presence. Energy bolts filled the air as Thylexcol soldiers opened fire, but Commander Yoon's team moved with inhuman speed and precision, dodging attacks that would have killed any normal human. "Transport incoming," Captain Park reported. A human stealth ship descended from the night sky, its hull shifting and flowing like liquid metal. The craft was another example of human adaptability. Imperial cloaking technology improved with human innovations and powered by energy systems that combined the best of multiple alien designs. Commander Yoon and her team leaped aboard as the ship lifted off, Imperial weapons fire lighting up the sky around them. But the enhanced pilots, their reflexes boosted with alien genetics, and their tactical awareness expanded through cybernetic implants, easily evaded the Imperial response. Mission successful, Commander Yoon reported as they cleared the atmosphere. All targets acquired. In orbit, Captain Woo Jin Park waited aboard his flagship. The ship was no longer recognizable as the Imperial vessel it had once been. Human. Engineers had rebuilt it from the inside out, creating something that was faster, stronger, and more intelligent than anything in the Imperial fleet. "Excellent work, Commander," Captain Park said as the strike team's ship docked. Dr. Minji Park is eager to begin analysis. In the ship's laboratory, Dr. Minji Park and her team prepared to examine humanity's greatest prize. The World Breaker. Weapons represented the pinnacle of Imperial technology, devices so powerful that even the Empire feared to use them. "Initial scans are remarkable," Dr. Minji Park reported as she studied the first weapon. "The power containment system uses principles we've never seen before. The destructive potential is beyond anything we've encountered." "How long to reverse engineer them?" Captain Park asked. "With our current understanding of Imperial technology, perhaps a week. But Captain..." Dr. Minji Park looked up with excitement in her enhanced eyes. "I think we can do more than just copy these weapons. I think we can improve them." Improve weapons? That can destroy solar systems? Not improve their destructive power, improve their precision. These weapons are designed for total annihilation. But what if we could create controlled versions? Weapons that could selectively destroy specific targets while leaving everything else intact? Captain Park considered this. It was a typically human approach. Take something designed for crude destruction and turn it into a precision tool. "Do it," he said. Meanwhile, on Nexus Prime, Emperor Vexithalan stood in his empty vault, staring at the spaces where his ultimate weapons had been. Imperial security recordings showed nothing. The thieves had been invisible to all sensors, incorporeal as spirits. "How?" he whispered. General Thekmar stood beside him, his usual arrogance replaced by fear. "My lord, they came into the most secure facility in the Empire and took our most powerful weapons without triggering a single alarm. They knew exactly where to find everything, exactly how to defeat our defenses. It's impossible. The vault's location is known only to the High Council. The access codes change every hour. The security systems are..." "My lord," Counselor Virthak interrupted, his voice shaking. "We are receiving another transmission from the humans." They returned to the throne room where the main screen showed Captain Woo Jin Park standing in what was clearly the bridge of a human warship. But behind him, Imperial officers worked alongside human crew members, their movements enhanced and coordinated beyond anything the Empire had ever achieved. "Emperor Vexithalan," Captain Park said politely. "I hope you don't mind that we borrowed your weapons. We found them quite interesting." The Emperor's 4 eyes blazed with rage. "You dare steal from the Empire itself?" "Steal? Emperor, you were planning to use these weapons against civilian populations. We simply made sure they were in more responsible hands. Those weapons can destroy star systems." "Yes, we noticed. Fascinating technology, really. Very crude in its application, but the underlying principles are sound. Our scientists are quite excited about the possibilities." Dr. Minji Park stepped into view. She held one of the World Breaker weapons in her hands, but it looked different. Smaller, more refined, covered in additional components that pulsed with soft light. "Emperor, we've made some improvements," she said. "Your version was designed for total destruction. Ours is designed for precision. We can now selectively remove specific targets while leaving everything else completely unharmed." To demonstrate, she activated the modified weapon. On the screen, the Emperor watched as one of the moons orbiting a distant PL